All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a blessed weekend. Let me get this tweeted out here. All right. Let's get the tweet out. Good, good, good. Yeah, I think we're in for a fun Bubblehead show tonight. So let me real quick, let's go over the state of the market, and I'm gonna be really, really excited to introduce my friend Pierre HK, Peter Pan from Twitter, and he's going to go over trading gaps with options. It's gonna be awesome. So let's just kind of take a look at where we are real quick. So we have the I've got the futures pulled up right here, but let's go to the SPX. So futures are up right now. They were up pretty significantly. They've actually pulled back a little bit. Let's go to the SPX. And let's see. So last month in May, we had a bearish or bearish engulfing month, right? So we, basically pushing out. We were looking for a little bit of follow through to the downside. Only got a little bit more than this, but we only got a little bit of a lower shadow here before we reclaimed already over 50% of the range of the prior month. So far this is just about a week into the month, trading week. We're pretty bullish here. So you can see last week, also a bullish engulfing week, right? Tried to break down below the cloud, and then kind of came back up and just kind of burst to the upside, and it was just a really, really incredible move last week. We looked like everything was getting somber here, as we got into Monday. It kind of gave us this, spinning top doji day, and then just launched right from there. So a little bit of resistance into the cloud, and then once we got through that, now here we are right over the 50 moving average, and it looks like if the futures can hold up, we might see more green as we enter into the open. Positive Trends newsletter subscribers are privy to levels that I tweet out all the time, daily, so that we can use that for trading. And you can see here that those came into play really nicely yesterday as we gapped up above the prior day's high, pushed through the R1 level, paused here at the R2, the daily R2 and weekly R2, and then pushed all the way up to the R3 before we reversed. So using trend lines and various indicators and using these levels, we can trade those effectively. Overall in the market, we've got just still working our way through this channel, and we had this boost up here through this Andrews Pitchfork. If you guys caught the 3-minute video today, very, very bullish move here through the Pitchfork median line, and now how we handle this Andrews reaction line as we move going forward. So pretty exciting stuff there. But at this point, I think without further ado, I think I want to just make sure everybody's tuning in here. Yes, I am really excited about introducing PRHK, Peter Pan, who I like to call Mr. Consistency, because I've never seen anybody trade, so effectively over month after month after month, consistently, pretty much doubling a small account every month, and by just using, techniques that I think he's going to talk about today. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce PRHK, Peter Pan, and I'm going to switch it over to you, my friend.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah. So, hey, everyone. Just want to start by thanking John for giving me this opportunity to be his guest. Just before starting, this strategy is based on my own trial and error. It doesn't really guarantee any profit and shouldn't be considered as an investment advice. I traded this strategy for long enough to be consistent with it. Like John was saying, it just works. It's just very simple. There's nothing much to it, and I'm just gonna show you in here. We're gonna go really quick. I know there's lots of information. I tried to make it as short as possible, and here we go. Okay, so first thing is we trade gaps. So I'm trading gaps with options at the open mostly all the time, but sometimes I do trade breakouts during the day. So what I trade is not really the fibs. I'm trading the breakouts. So basically 15 orbs, 30 orbs, inside 60s, inside days, a pattern breakout. You could see I put all my charts on Twitter. What I do is I trace all my levels, support, resistance, all my patterns, and just anticipating for a move. Just before starting in here, I'm just gonna show you what I do. So I have my ER watch list, because this is what gives me most gaps is earning reports, and I want to have volume on these stocks. So I don't have volume, they're not gonna move, so I'm not really interested. So once I have my AR watch list, I have it posted on Twitter too all the time. I have it beside me, and then I go to pre-market. I use investing.com. So I'm just going to show you. I go in here in market, stocks, and then pre-market. There you go. So stocks in here, and then we go pre-market, and that's going to show me the pre-market activity, and I could see the volume in here. Basically, anything that has more than 200, 300K in volume is a good stock to trade for me. So like this is a Friday, you could see BYND in here. We had BYND, we had Doku in here, and then Zoom video, and you could see they're up in here. You can see AMD was moving too. So sometimes even if it's not on the ER list, I'll pick some stocks from here. So once I confirm that I have my volume, I just want to look at the option spread. So it's very important to have the smallest spread possible. If you have a big spread, even if stock moves, sometimes you need a delta or two just to cover your spread. So this is very important. So fibs, let's start with the fibs. Voodoo science, that's what I hear a lot, and I learn a lot. And I've seen people talking about that it's voodoo science. Well, yes, it is voodoo science if you don't know how you trace it. That's an example. That's BYND. I'm just going to show you really quick in here all these levels and how it's respecting it really, really good. So my base is the lowest in here, and I trace the first movement up with it. That's my 1 in here, you could see. And then it reversed. It went down to the 50. You could see the 50 in here, went up, the extension 1272, reversed down, 786, went up, almost hit the 1618, and then bounced on the, gapped up on the ER, and then look what it stopped. It's the 2618, and then reversed back. So it works. I have my ES in here. Pretty quick. Let me clear these. You could see when we bounced back all the way down, we just hit on top. That's a different type of fibs I'm tracing in here, not for the gas. I just wanted to show you that it respects the fibs too. Looking here on Friday, we stopped at the 1272 and bounced down. So how I traced my fibs. So basically you need to, the 1272 is not actually a fib. The 1618 is the extension of the golden ratio. And the 1272 is actually the square root of the 1618. And why the 1272? Because it works. So one thing I'm going to show you in here, I'm just going to show you how you add it. If you use TradingView, because usually this is not a traditional one. So when you trace your fibs in here, you're going to go to settings, and then you go to style. And then you could choose any levels of fibs you want. So in here, you're just going to check the 1272, and you click OK, and you're good to go. So just, there you go. So I'm going to take a trade from the bottom in here just to show you exactly how I'm doing that. So I chose a trade that I took a while ago. It's on PDD. We're going to switch back. So that's the trade actually in here. So the first thing I want to do in the morning, I could see already that it's gapping down, and that's on earnings. So I'm going to switch to the 5. It's going to take me back. There you go. Sorry, it's laggy a little bit in here. There you go. So I don't have anything. I'm not seeing anything except the open in here. So what I do is I'm going to put my 1 at the open, and then my 0 goes on the close of the previous day. And that's on the 5-minute chart. And because I'm trading the 5 and 15-minute, I'm going to show you later on for daily, if you're trading daily, how you could do that for gaps too. So I'm just approximately, I'm going to put it in here. So I could see in here clearly it opened at 1, it's pushing up, and then it hit the 786 and reversed all the way down. So I'm ready to short. Usually a gap that is higher than 5% is going to continue down or up depending how it's gapping, and less than that it has a chance to close. So in here I'm ready to short. You could use the 5 minute, or even you can wait for the 15. I'm going to show you for the 15. So once this first 5 minute candle closes, I switch my one now to the close of this one. And then you could see clearly now, these are my targets. So I'm not using them to trade or to trigger. I'm using them to set my targets in here for potential support or resistance. And I'm always looking at my volume profile. You could see on this side, look how big is this volume support in here, and which is the 1618. Sometimes I have my support and resistance level traced on my chart. I'm just removed lots of things in here just to clear the, make it a little bit simple for you to see it. So we go short in here. I'm just gonna show you the trade. Let's go back to Keynote. So actually, that was the trade in here. So that was moving too fast. I tried to close, to open at the 117 to fill it at the 0.17. I couldn't. I filled like actual 1 or 2, and then eventually I filled at the 0.25. Look how it tested back in here, broke down, and my trading stop kicked me out on this green candle in here, and you could see clearly it went down to the 1618. So basically that's a 0.25 went to 0.75. That's 200% profit on one trade in almost 1 hour, and you're done for the day. Okay, let's go back. So that's okay. So most I'm gonna show you later on. So like I was saying, I trade 15, 30 opening range breakouts. I trade inside days, inside 60s with these, and wedges, channels, triangles. I'm not gonna talk about how I trace my fibs in here for different ones because it's a long presentation. I don't wanna make it longer than that. So we're gonna go on managing the trade. So basically just focusing on the gaps. So how do I take my trade? Why I decide to take this trade or not? Always looking at my risk reward. If I trace my fibs and I see that my 1272 or 1618 is within like less than 1 delta, it's not worth for me because it's not gonna move. I'm not gonna make money. I'm not gonna cover my commission, so I don't take the trade. I really want these ranges. I'm looking always at my option chain. I'm looking at my delta. I trade mostly weeklies with the delta around 0.40 and in and out pretty fast, so I don't get burned with that. So you can't keep it for next day. You want to know something very important, that when you're trading options, every single Greek is working against you except your delta. And then when you're getting a retracement or a pop-up on your stock, you're still losing even more. Now your delta is working against you. So you want to be very precise in trading them. So look, this is a trade that John took on Friday. He was amazing with that. Like he made some money on this pound here, and I was like, oh my God, man, how did he do that? That was super good. I was waiting for my confirmation. So you could see we had a double inside 15 in here and small hammer. I was like, okay, that's it. We're going up. And my target was 100. You could see clearly we have like 5 deltas in here. This is super good. That's an amazing trade. So I keep switching all the time between 15, 35. I want to see all the time frames. I want to see how the stock is acting, not focusing on only a couple of candles in here. So always very important to check short time frames and long time frames. So I traced my line in here, my support, and then I traced my trigger that I'm looking at. And then you could see I put my alerts. Very quick to show you how I do that. Because I got asked a lot. So pretty easy when on TradingView, any of the lines that you put or channels, when you put let's say this line in here, and then you're going to click on alert, and then you're going to choose. And what I choose is if it's going up, I want to go long, just crossing up, and I forget about it and just sit and do something else because I can monitor all my stocks all the time. Once the price moves beyond it or to the upside, it just triggers on my phone. I go in and I check it. So you could see this is why it's super important to wait for confirmation before taking any trades. So my confirmation is first my level. So okay, it triggered in here. And second thing is I'm looking at my 5 minute. Okay, what's the candle like? What is it? So clearly in here I could see a reversal. Looks like an evening star for me. So I don't want to take this trade. Then it popped in here. I was like, okay, let's do this. I was ready to trigger, and then I get a doji. So I'm like, okay, no, we're not taking it. And look what happens.
Yeah.
It just basically just dipped down like in one shot. This candle in here took probably a couple of seconds.
Glad I took profit before that.
Oh, that was you took profit on this doji because
I know, it was
it went up in here and then it triggered your stop.
I was looking for a breakout there. It pushed.
Yeah.
There was enough momentum in it where it got profitable pretty quickly. But I was like, let me.
Yeah, it wasn't very. But sometimes we get itchy. We want to trade. So one other thing I'm looking at all the time is my RSI on top. Sure, this is not 100% all the time, but most of the time, if I'm looking to the break to the above, I don't want my RSI to be super overbought in here, because yes, it's gonna move, but it's not gonna move too much. Or if I want to go short and it's oversold, it could move lower. I'm gonna show you that, but just be careful because most of the time it won't stay oversold for too long, especially on the shorter time frames.
That's a great lesson right there. Just that alone is very helpful when you're looking at breakouts and everything. There's a bunch of tweets today on trading breakouts, and that's something to look at too. It's like if you're stuck in that overbought area, oversold area, so just watch out. Anyway, sorry, Pierre.
Yeah. Oh no, it's absolutely. Anytime you want to interrupt me, add something, no problem. Look at this. That's the RSI on this trade in here. So because of the gap, we went down immediately to oversold. That doesn't mean you're oversold. So
right.
if it was oversold in here, yes, but it wouldn't even went that low, and that's why I went short in here. And you could see clearly it started in here going up, and you could see the bounce, but it bounced on my levels. So basically, what I want to catch is only this. I don't need more than that, and I don't want to see a retracement like this in my trade because that kills my premium like pretty fast. So my stop losses, one other thing that lots of people ask me about are my stop losses. How do I set them? Let me just go back in here. Yes. So my stop losses, basically it's based all the time on my risk and reward. You have to know your risk reward all the time. Let's say I took this trade in here, and for me, okay, I'm shorting down, and I took the trade in here. If it breaks up and closes above it, that's it. I'm done, because that means my trade is not working. The way how I trade these breakouts, you have to be like really accurate on it, and you have to act very fast, because if you're buying in here, now you're just chasing because you missed your break. So you have to be quick on it. Sometimes you could see me, I tweet a lot, and you could see, okay, I let it go because I couldn't fill. It was too fast for me, and this is not enough anymore. So it's very important. And once I have my stop loss in here, it's not a house stop loss, because sometimes you could see these small wicks in here. It just kicks you out and continue without you. So you want to keep it. You want to keep monitor your trade, and I enter it manually all the time. If I have to leave and I can't monitor anymore, then I put a trailing stop, and it's usually like $20 below my the option price that is at that moment, and I just leave, and it triggers by itself. One time Netflix did not trigger on me, and it was really bad because I was almost 200% profit and ended up losing all the money because it did not trigger when it reversed. So just be careful with these ones, especially on stocks that move a lot. For my profit, you could see I set my 1272, 1618. These are usually my targets. Sometimes dollar amount is really important for me too. So if I'm trading Tesla and I'm already up by $200-300, I just take a partial and I leave one to go or two. So it's really up to you to set up your profit and your stop loss depending on your risk reward ratio. Okay, I think so. We already saw this. I'm gonna show you a 30 orb trade in here. Sorry, that's I tried to find it because I don't have all the trades, so I took this from Twitter. But actually, that's, if you look at it, that's an inside 15 in here, but that's a 30 orb breakout. I would usually put my trigger in here on top of this, and you could see my 1272 is in here. So I'm not taking this trade. I wanted to break, so I waited for it in here to break, and then I closed in here, and just goes down afterwards. So for me, this small move in here, I made, I think, $200 or something like that. Another trade.
That's awesome, and I love how you have the your volume profile up too. That really helps
all the time, because that shows me lots of. So you could see in here, there's a gap, right?
Yep.
So this gap in here, if the price gets sucked in, it just goes down.
Right. Yeah, bigger pocket.
It's a big pocket, you know. And then one other thing too, it's very important to have your levels all the time. This is a Tesla trade, and I got super lucky because in here my 1618 lined with the gap resistance. I'm just gonna show you that, but let me show you the trade that I took, and I took two trades in here actually on this. So the first one was the 30, I think was the 15 in here. So at the break of the 15, I took this trade in here. It broke up. I closed this one, and then it continued higher than the 1272, and I took a second one, and I closed in here. So I got these two movements in Tesla in here, and that was an awesome day. I made like 300%, I think. It was amazing, but that doesn't happen every single day. But if you're consistent doing the same every time, you're gonna have one or two of these every month.
That's awesome.
So let me show you this Tesla, and I think I have it in here. Yeah, so you could see in here. So very important with the fibs that they're not magic. They have to line really with support and resistance. And if the more you have in your fibs, the more accurate they're gonna predict the extension. So if we look at this in particular, you're gonna see that. Look how the price action. You can see the gap on the left side in here. So you could see the gap in here, and then Tesla is gapping up, and then it's engaging this gap. It wants to fill this gap. But the first thing it did, it just hit this previous high in here, and you could see it, and reversed down. But there was enough buyers to push it up, so we went back again at it. We went in here. 1272 is almost at this level, like there's 50 cents, and then we broke it above. So I took the trade in here, and then my 1618 was in here. So I closed it, and look what happened. But I did not notice that was my gap fill in here. So it's very important. I do lots of mistakes, but I'm always in control of my risk. So it's very important to be aware of your levels. Same thing, it applies to your wedges, to channels, to every single support. You could see in here, I have a channel. Sorry about that. It's just getting used to Zoom.
Yeah.
So you could see I have a channel in here, like a trend line going down. So if Tesla had broken above this, I would have kept my profit in here and took another trade. And my target now is the 2618. and this channel, the trend line. So it's very, when they line like this is amazing. But sometimes they don't go there. So I cash this and that's it. I'm done. I don't know if I have anything else. Oh, that's an inside day example. Look at this. This is beautiful. I so love it in here. We have an inside day. Look how the second day after the gap in here, we retraced back a retracement to the 618, the golden ratio, and we went back. This is actually already bullish. The next day we opened in here, reclaimed the range of this bar, and pushed up. So took the trade in here, and then we closed in here, and you're done. Look at this. Look what happened afterwards.
It came right back down to the 0.786 too, which is
yeah.
Coincidence.
So it's really kind of this is just to show that if it's traced properly, it works. It works really good. That's I had to show this. This is amazing. I love this pattern. I just found it, like, I don't know how. It's just amazing. That's a diamond bearish pattern in here. That's on Levi, and you could see that's a range fibs that I trace. Usually you take, if it's a box, you take bottom and top of the box and towards the direction that you thought is going to go. So we took the 0 in here, the 1 in here, and we traced our extension. And look what happened. Breaks down from the diamond, it goes down. That's normal. It hits the low in here, that's support, and then closed in here. Next day, we take the next one, which is to the 1272. And the third day, we go here, 1618. We bounce back here, and then now it looks like bouncing back to the 1272. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In just this move, we have 5 fib inspection. So I don't know what to say.
Incredible.
It's definitely incredible. Not voodoo. It works for me every day. Yes, sometimes they're difficult. Sometimes they don't make sense. So you have to play around with them. Sometimes if they're not working, don't force it. That's how it is. But yeah, definitely you're trading your breakouts. You're not trading your fibs. So it doesn't mean that if I'm at the 618, I broke it down, I want to take a trade. No, if there's no patterns, there's nothing indicating that there's a trade in there, you don't take it. This is only to kind of guide me a little bit. Just tell me where I need to take my profit. You know, it's that's how I use them. And my favorite quote of all time, and my daughter has it in her room, and I just love it. You just have to believe in yourselves, and anything can happen. You know, it's pretty funny. Lots of people that innovate and do new things, they never went back and saw what other people did. Just tried themselves to do something new and to achieve something new, and then they did the amazing things. So just believe in yourself, and like usual, let's do this. If you have any questions, I don't have my YouTube in here. Let me see.
Yeah, Pierre, I'm happy to. Thank you so much for doing this. Wow, I didn't ask many questions because I'm just sitting here watching and learning. You know, so it was great. You know, I think everybody else is really mesmerized too, because you know, at this point, right? If anybody has any questions, please ask those questions, because Pierre is a very busy man, and you know, maybe like 10 minutes of questions for him, and then after that, if anybody has any chart requests, I can kind of wrap up the show with kind of going through that stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna run through here and just see if anybody has any questions for.
Sorry to interrupt, John. I just had these ones from Twitter from Tencent, and he was asking. Just give me one sec.
Oh, from Tencent?
Yes, he was asking. Two important questions, and they're really important.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
How do I choose which trade to take?
Which trade to take?
Yeah. Yes. So because you could see gaps all the time, breakouts all the time. It's for me. There's no bad or good trades. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. But with practice, with my system that I use, you start getting like Zoom ZM in here. You could see like I had like this feeling like, okay, this is not looking good. Like because when a breakout happens, you're gonna see it. You're gonna feel it. You could see that, okay, it's pushing, it's strong. So these are the ones that you're gonna trade, and then with experience, you start trading shorter ones. But definitely, I don't know. You have to have a system that works for you and you use all the time, and you're just gonna get the good trades. And one other thing is losing streaks. How I don't get upset, or I do get upset. I'm human too. Like I just get so upset all the time, but I control my emotions. I don't just go on my account and just go all in because of that. One very important thing is you have to manage your account more than to manage your trades, because that's the most important thing. And when you're on a losing streak, I was on one like 2 months ago. It was crazy. I was getting so angry and so frustrated, but my account stayed green. Yes, I did a couple $100 for each month, but my account stayed green. I reduced my size, I took less trades, and I waited. And I think that's it. I'm not jinxed anymore, and it's working. And the last week was amazing, and I can't wait for next week.
It's awesome, yeah. And sometimes our accounts take like Fibonacci's too. Like sometimes we have big expansion moves, and sometimes they pull back. So it's just something to keep in mind there. So that's great. So I'm just going to kind of run through. If anybody has any questions for Pierre, for Peter Pan here, please plug those in, and I'll try to run through those. Can you still hear me, Pierre?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good. All right, cool. So, Love Machine Polonaise, good to see you. Shirley, how are you? Stacy, what's going on? MJ, hello from Toronto.
Hey.
Nudie Poo, how's it going? Good to see you. SMDCS, ES plus 6.5. Nice. Call Saul, thanks for hanging out, guys. Hey, Pierre. Let's see. Harvey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. SMDCS. Yep, the McClellan plus 82 from the start, minus 71. Netfry, hey. DB, what's going on? Scott Huff, what's up? MJ, all right, let's see what else. Let's see. Thanks for the Fibonacci golden ratio from Netfry. Let's see. Okay, so Netfry asks, what's your delta preference?
So like I said, I trade weeklies and I use 0.40 delta because this is what gives me my most risk reward. I traded like different deltas. If I use out of the money, like usually these deltas on the weekly are at the money. I want to be close at the money as possible. If it's out of the money, it's hard to make money. You need big volume, and then it's just hard. And if you're in the money, it's expensive. So for a small account, so like I was showing in here on PDD, you just need $250 in here, and you're making 750 in this small move. So it's really important to know your risk reward. Again, you have to work on this, and once you know it, you're gonna choose. I know John prefers to trade a 0.70 delta, but it's expensive. So if you have a small amount,
I'll trade like a $12 option, but I can control my stops a little bit better, with the 0.7, and especially if you're swinging and all that stuff. But on the weeklies too, I'll go out of the money, but not super out of the money, but so that 0.4 is I think a good limit there.
Well, the only time I go out of money is if I want to play lottos sometimes just for fun.
Yeah.
Last year I got a out of the money Walmart ER Lotto. It went from
that's right.
$50 to $1,000 next day.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it just doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And if you do that every time, you'll end up spending the $1,000. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's see. So, let's see. Thanson said, "Glad to hear you speak about your process." Me too. I'm just real. Thank you so much again for being here. This is awesome. This is fun. This is an epic recording here. So, let's see. Yeah, hearing is sometimes better than seeing. I agree. Thanson, let's see. VPVR helped me with my Nvidia swing earlier. Nice. Okay, so Osama, hey, what's going on, man? All right, so he said, how about placing the fib levels on hourly or daily?
Yes. So here's one that's on daily in here for Roku. That's daily. Um, can you see the? There you go. So that's daily on Roku in here, and you could see. So other than tracing these gaps, there's like I said, I don't want to go into details in here. I do use fibs for lots of other trades. So there's the range fibs that I use. Basically, like I was explaining, if it's a or the diamond in here, or it could be a channel too. So you could see, let's say this is a box and or a channel you're trading. I trace the extension in here. This one was daily. You can trace it on monthly if you want. It depends on your time frame. So if you're, for me, I'm trading the open 5-15 minutes, but then after 30 minutes, now I start switching to the 15-30 minutes. So sometimes my fibs don't make sense at the 5 minute anymore after an hour. So I switch them to, let's say this is an hour candle. I do the same thing, but for hourly. So this is a daily candle in here. So that's day 1, day 2, day 3. And you could see I put it from close to close. So 0 is close the day before the gap, and 1 is at the close the day after the gap. And to get my extension, and you can see we got the 1272 in here. Even we got the retracement levels, and here you go.
Nice.
If you're interested, guys, we could do maybe sometime with John. I could.
Oh, I just lost your sound there too. I just lost your sound. It was like the most important thing you're saying. We could do what? Oh, I'm having a little bit of an issue here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Sorry, I lost you. We just had a little bit of an internet blip there. So
yeah, that's probably mine.
No, it's just I think we're good. So
okay, like I was saying, we could do something on fibs with you, John, just to explain how we use them and how.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, of course, yeah, we'll talk about that. So this has been great. Yeah. I just feel like at this point I'm losing a little bit of quality here on the video, so I don't want to take too much more of your time. I'm just gonna run through a couple more of these questions real quick. So Alex, will be the replay? Yes, this will get saved to YouTube definitely. Let's see, and let's see. Could you dive into Delta a little more? I think we just talked about that a little bit there. Trading platform. I guess Nudipu, what trading platform do you use, Pierre?
But for my trading, I use Thinkorswim. But my charting all the time at TradingView. I use Thinkorswim to execute my trades, but I chart on TradingView. I just love it. I have the Pro plan, and it's just amazing. It's more than enough for me.
Yeah.
Like you see, I don't use too many indicators. I probably used all of them at some point, and this is what I ended up using. That's it. Like the simplest ever. Nothing more than that.
Nice. Hey Manoj, hey Jesse, LMP, can you share the slides? Maybe I'll have to ask him to see if he'll donate it to newsletter subscribers, something like that. But let's see, Osama, that's great. And then I guess I have one quick one here from Tommy NJ. Can you trace the fib for Monster MNST? Like one live tracement on that one, and then that'll be probably the last question here, so we can all get going. And I'll, if anybody has any chart requests too, I can kind of run through some of those too. So.
Oh, I already have it traced in here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because that's one of the stocks that I trade too, right?
That's
most
right.
of the stocks that we talk about, I keep my fibs. You could see it's traced, and you could tell me in here. Look at this. Look how beautiful it is. So we gap topped in here. We retraced back to the 618. We went again to the 1272. A couple of times couldn't take it. Went back to this level, and then this is like a higher low, so that's bullish. And the third time it took it out, and then
Oh,
look where
wow.
it stopped. Look at this.
Amazing.
It just works, man. It
Voodoo
just
magic. That's pretty much what it is.
yes. Well, I see this everywhere, voodoo magic, and I can't understand. And then if you want to see how where it's going, let me remove these drawings. So if you want to go higher than this and confirms it, we could go to 71 in here, around 71.
hmm
So yeah, and but this is just
I tell you that 1272
speculate.
is a big takeaway for me today. That's just
Oh, I just love it.
amazing level. Amazing level.
It's nothing than the square root of the 1618,
Right. Incredible.
and it's a fib extension in here. That's it. That's it. You could sometimes you could ignore it and then work with the 1618, but you could see it goes up in here and goes down. So by the time it reaches this level, if you have options in here, you're dead. Like this is
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many days, like from May till June 6th. So 1 month of theta decay. So
Even July options get really
yeah,
hurt out there. I
yeah,
mean, granted, that last day there was bullish enough to possibly get enough momentum to it, but it's so tough with options holding through that. So very tough.
yeah.
One more question. I just saw just real quick. Where do you place your 1 and 0 again? And I'm pretty sure you go from close to close. Maybe this one is maybe
For,
from close to open. Maybe it depends.
for which one? For which one? In here? For Monster or
I think in general, it's just a general question.
well,
Osama's asking. He says, "Where do you place your 1 and 0?"
so like I said, I think if I'm tracing gaps, so if I'm tracing patterns high and low of the pattern, if I'm tracing gaps, the first 5 minutes, I put my zero at the close of previous day, one at the open and of the first 5 minute candle, and then I
Uh,
switch it to the close.
on
So
the daily.
let me go back to I had PDD in here.
Yeah, I remember this. Okay, that's there. It's showing on the open on there because that was from the 5 minute gap or where you open in the first 5 minutes.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
let's go here. Just using one example so people don't get confused. So this is the gap down. When it opens, I'm not seeing anything. I'm putting my one in here at the open, which is in here, and then my close goes to the close of the previous day.
To the 0.
So
Yeah.
yes, and this is where I'm kind of gauging the movement of the stock. Is it moving or not? Because sometimes it just does this and start doing flat. I have a Tesla trade in here. I could show you actually. Look at this. This is not gonna work, guys. So you could see in here, it just opened and look what it's doing. So it's not gonna work. So we wait for it because it just consolidated, and then when it take a direction, then you're gonna trace your fibs. So you could see now I traced my fibs using the 30, I think, in here because yes. So I used the 30 in here. You could see close of this one and then open close of this one.
Mm,
So I could get my extension and look my extension now.
perfect.
So there's no you have to play around with them. You have to see all the time that your levels are at support and resistance or important levels. So that's why I keep this in here on the side too.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Really incredible stuff. Oh, Pierre, thank you so much for joining us tonight and for sharing all your insights. You're a awesome follow on Twitter. So if anybody's joining us from YouTube and doesn't use Twitter, definitely check out Pierre HK on Twitter. It's the link will be in the description. He also the reason why he talks about Tesla a lot is that he's also doing the Tesla Challenge and is working to get Elon Musk to pay for his very own Tesla, and he uses these techniques to do that. And so far, he's on track to get that. So that's really exciting. So definitely follow his work there on Twitter. And Pierre, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and sharing all this. I learned a ton. I'm sure everybody learned a ton, and it's going to be saved so people can go back and rewatch it to learn a bunch of stuff from it over and over again. So thank you again so much for tuning in. You the man. Appreciate it.
Excellent, John. Thank you so much. Thanks for thanks everyone for tuning in today, and hopefully we do another collaboration with John soon. So we'll see you all. And if you have any questions, I don't really mind. You just tweet me, send me an email, no problem at all. I could help you with anything you have.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, thank you again so much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow in the at the Open. So,
Yep,
so
yeah.
we'll see you then. Have a great
I'll be
night, my
there.
friend.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, yeah. Talk to you later. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Awesome, guys. That was fantastic. So thank you again, Pierre, for tuning in. What an awesome experience there. So again, these are the type of things we like to do here. We try to get, sometimes special guests. We had Danson last time, and this time we had Pierre HK. So, really, really great stuff. And so, at this point, we're kind of wrapping up here. But if anybody has any chart requests, I'm happy to take a look at a few things, before we call it a night. And wow, so much good stuff to digest. I mean, I know a bunch of stuff about Fibonacci, and I've done some lectures on it, but Pierre's like shown me like a whole new way of looking at it. I've never messed with them before on gaps, and just the insight into that and looking into options was just incredible. So so that'll be really something to look at there. So yeah, if anybody has any chart requests, anything to look at, I'm not going to go through and run fibs on anything, but but if you want me to take a look at something, I'm happy to. And Scott, snap. Snap's gonna go up, Mo. It's gonna be great. So no, I'm kidding. So let's see. It's definitely working its way up there, man. It's following the trend is definitely up. It's over volumetric levels now, so a little bit consolidation. So you might get a pop out of that, kind of going forward. So good. Shirley, you got some cool stuff out there. Some Microsoft. Let's take a look. And anybody else? If I missed anybody earlier, I apologize. But I think we mostly had questions for. I think we're good there. Mostly questions for Pierre. So let's take a look at Microsoft real quick. Yeah, so Microsoft super strong, right? Shirley, it's this following this channel up for a very long time. It's like just super bullish. Tried to break down the channel, failed, and now it's back up. If anything, I'm thinking maybe a little pullback, kind of that 129 area, but to me that would be possible buying signal there. So very, very cool. And then of course your targets are looking good. SQ. Cool. Yeah, it's broken out over this prior level that we had at earnings. I actually probably remove some of this stuff right here. We haven't looked at this in a while. As you know, I don't really trade Square very much. I've already, it's just kind of one of those ones. But you can see here, followed this downward trend line really well. Broke out. Kind of giving this almost like an inverse cup and handle. So just be careful about that. But so far it's kind of holding over this this zone. This is kind of a prior congestion zone. So let's activate that. Carry it forward here, and then voila. It is starting to break out of that. So that is bullish, and then it's also got a gap here that it could be looking to fill. So I think that could have a lot of potential on that. So let's see. So we'll take a look at CRM. Surely we're going to look at the, they just had earnings recently. So I think on that one, we're going to look at probably a 30 orb on that one coming into it. Let's see what day was that. That was on the 4th. Actually, we're good. So that was a little bit further back than I thought. So yeah, still looking bullish, breaking out over a major congestion zone from the past. So again, next kind of level there is at 166, 167 on the pitchfork level there. Tommy NJ. All right, so not sure why my fibs are different than Pierre. I don't know either. If he may have customized them, I'm not sure if you have the 1.2, level. But I would just go back through the video, check and see, kind of what he had on there with what did it, because he might have different levels than you're using. That could be one of the things you're looking at. I don't know if he has different settings. He might have some things customized just lines, but you could do it in Thinkorswim too. Just get your kind of your levels. So let's say you go to, just like here, you can go to use your extensions, right? So he uses the close, right? And then let's say he went to the open here. And then I would assume, I guess it depends where you pull back to where your extensions would be, right? But see, I don't even have the 1.27 pulled up on here, so I'm going to definitely add that. I've got the 382. But here you can kind of see, look at that, the 1.382 is there. I'm sure if I put the 1.27, that would give me kind of a level right here, and then it came up to the 1.618, and then even here's the this on CRM, the 2.618. So really, really neat stuff. Look how it's just sitting there on the 1.61. Amazing stuff. Yeah, so let's see. Shirley, let's take a look. Yeah, we got a couple of these. So we obviously already covered Monster earlier. The numbers always remain the same. Just depends on where you lay the 0 and 100. That's exactly right, Thanson. Thanks for adding that in there. So check that out, Tommy. Let's take a look at WM. Super bullish, right? Still working these levels. Just be careful; it's starting to get a little steep right now. Just watch those levels there. It might be good for a reversal kind of coming up. So just be careful of that. KO. Wow, amazing. Goodness. You never think Coke moves, but it sure does. Goodness gracious. It has a huge gap down. It's worked its way all the way back up. Now it's like gone parabolic. So just keep an eye on that, Shirley. That's the only thing that worries about me with those. A Monster we already looked at. You live on different as well and get different results to work to your specifications. Exactly. Yeah, everybody uses fibs a little bit differently, but that's really a cool way to look at it. Raphael, what's going on? QCOM and Mo? Whew. Yeah, so QCOM, goodness gracious, you have this island top right here, almost a double island top, really. And, you're kind of down here. At this point, it's holding this old volumetric level. You've got this pitchfork median line right here. So it could be bullish, working its way up into that gap. I'm kind of liking that there. And then you've got MO. Altria Goop, cool. So just be careful with this. I mean, it is in a downtrend right now, so kind of here's your low, there's your pivot. So at this point, it might kind of come up. Just watch that level, kind of if it works up to this 52-ish zone, right? 52.50, right? Careful, that might become resistance. But if you can get through it, your next level is 55 on that one. So, oh, surely, yeah, MRK. This is definitely getting bullish. So. Back up in the channel. This was key. I mean, like here we were looking at shorting, and then it kind of came back down, really ripped back through that channel, and then kind of back up here, and then now it's back in it. So to me, that's very bullish sign. So there's your kind of upward trend line right there. So just it might pull back here to this 81 level, but it's looking pretty good going up. And yeah, let's take a look at OEC. I'll take a look at one more share. Let's look at OEC, and then we'll wrap it up. Get some rest. Lots of stuff to sleep on and digest after really, really great stuff from Pierre tonight. So yep, looking bullish here. Just be careful here. It's got volumetric at 19, about 19 and a half. But if it can hold that, I think your level is going to look good there. So that looks good. Awesome stuff, everyone. Really, really cool. I hope everybody had a blessed weekend, and I think we're going to have an awesome week this week. There's lots of cool stuff happening. Futures are already green, and we'll see how that holds into the morning. I'll tweet out some cool stuff if you follow on Twitter. Thanks again for checking us out here. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, and if you really, really like what you see, check out our newsletter where you get to stay on top of the markets. We have a private Twitter stream with that too. So awesome stuff. Everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.